The Bible says that much knowledge puffs up. Hosea wrote to a very zealous group of people. He said, you perish for lack of knowledge. You got two extremes here. Now, I know I'm talking to a group of people who enjoy learning. I know I'm talking to a group of people who are very zealous. But now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it? I get to teach you 4 questions. These questions will stand you in good stead no matter what the topic, creation, evolution, it doesn't matter what the topic is. If you learn to use these questions wisely, you will appear to be more intelligent than 95% of the people around you. The first question you need to ask when anybody tells you anything is, what do you mean by what you're saying? What do you mean by what you're saying?
I don't think you go to heaven if everything goes well. So.
And what do you mean by goes well?
Well, it's live your standards towards the Bible. I guess live your life towards your Creator.
Okay.
So
is it by doing good deeds or something other than that?
You can say good deeds as far as.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you think you get to heaven?
I guess
You mentioned true heart. What does that mean, I guess?
I guess because in Christianity, there's a lot of discussion of Judgment Day. And I kind of believe that even if you might have not done, everything great in your life, like the Lord would still be able to kind of understand if you're true of heart and you're truly sorry for the things you've done, then He'll be able to tell.
Okay.
And that's how you kind of get to heaven or hell.
Okay. What do you think?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Okay.
I would say, as a Christian, there is a certain moral ground that you take with.
And what do you mean by Christian? What do you mean by Christian?
Someone that believes Jesus Christ is our Savior.
The second question is what I call the killer question. This is the question that stops most discussions on any topic. In fact, when you ask this question, eyes roll to the back of the head, jaws go slack, and all you count are nostril hairs. Because people tend to go belly up when you ask this question. And that question, of course, is, well, how do you know? How do you know that what you're saying is true? There is a question that I need to ask about that, and that is, how do you know that reincarnation is true?
Oh, you don't.
Okay.
I don't think there's any guarantees of extinction, heaven or hell, reincarnation.
So it's speculation on your part. You would admit that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would definitely admit that it's speculation, but I also think it's instinct. And I also think there are ways of seeing that in the real world. Things coming around and going full circle, a plant dies, rots, it becomes fodder for all the other plants, and all the other plants grow because of that.
Right.
And, everything is, constantly in motion and constantly progressing towards something. But I don't think there's a definite end. I think there's just infinite possibility.
Hitler was a committed evolutionist.
Yes.
Okay. So is what he did to the Jews right or wrong? Because he said the strong survive and the powerful rule. He classified certain groups of people as subhuman because they didn't fit his criteria. What's your response to that as an evolutionist?
As an evolutionist, never called myself that before, but I would say what he did morally was wrong.
And how do you know it was morally wrong?
Well, you don't. I mean, according to him, it wasn't morally wrong. So in his views, it's not morally wrong, but in my views, it is.
So then, who are you to impose your values on Hitler?
Hitler's dead.
When you're dead, you're dead.
Okay, so then,
There's no...
how do you know?
When you're dead?
How do you know that that's what happens when you die? Because you said it's extinction. How do you know?
Because I remember watching my grandfather die. I remember seeing this lonely look on his face. I don't remember him being like, great, I'll see you guys in 50 years when y'all pass on. It was, it had a faraway look in his eye, and it was lonely.
Right.
And you knew he was done for.
The next question is also a great question to ask. That question is, well, what difference does what you're saying make in your life? Or, so what? I ask you how you know what you believe is true, and you said you don't, but you're absolutely certain that I'm wrong. That's pretty judgmental.
Yes, I'm not absolutely completely positive that you're wrong. I'm saying for my own personal spirituality.
So you're saying it's truth for me, but not truth for you?
Just like,
Is that correct?
you know, that Nazi Germany could be truth for them, but not truth for us.
That's pretty scary,
Yeah.
because you could end up in a concentration camp.
Yep.
And you know what? That's absolutely wrong. And I can say it's absolutely wrong,
Yes, you can.
because I see that there is an absolute standard by which we can judge things. I didn't make it up. It's revealed. You're saying man makes his own standard, and it varies from culture to culture, from time to time.
Yeah, but
from
not
year
from time
to year.
to time. How from time to time?
You said Germany and United States. Was slavery wrong? Supreme Court, 1858, Dred Scott decision, ruled that black people are nothing more than property. Was that a right decision or a wrong decision, Natasha?
At the time, it was right, but now I would say it's wrong.
So it varies
I'm not at all
just
a
from country to
racist
country,
person.
but it varies within the country.
Yes.
And I'm saying that's scary.
What's the purpose of life?
Yeah.
Well, scientifically, excuse,
Just to
hopefully this
reproduce.
isn't prude. Yeah, you go out, you have kids, you die.
Okay.
The race continues. Through culture, life has become now more about, maybe do something with yourself. Maybe get married, fall in love with this person.
If you're a human being for however long you live, and then you get to become a butterfly, that would be something totally new and different. And how could you not be excited about a new and different experience like that? A chance to be something else.
Or you could be a tapeworm.
You could be a tapeworm. And hey, being a tapeworm might be fun, just sitting there subsisting off whatever somebody else eats. You don't even have to go to the store. You just sit in the guy's stomach. But the point is, you get to experience more. Whether it's good or bad, it's still experience, and it's still something that you can learn from and grow from.
There is that old saying, anything and everything is acceptable far away from me,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's one thing for us to sit here and say, well, any experience is worth the experience. But the truth of the matter is, we all do desire not what we deserve, not the justice part, but we long for grace and mercy, as you said.
Yeah.
Where do you get your purpose and value in life? Why do you say that his life is valuable? What gives him, is it because of what he does or because he inherently has value?
Inherently,
Oh,
both.
okay. Because he has value because he is a person. But where did you get this idea of personhood? Evolution doesn't give him personhood. He's just an animal. He's no different than the dog or cat. He just happens to be a little more complex.
So it's okay to kill a dog or a cat?
If you're an
too?
evolutionist, it doesn't matter whether it's a dog, a cat, or an Eric, or a Natasha, or a Bill. Evolution is an idea, and ideas have consequences. And then finally, the last question is also a great question. It's based on Pascal's wager. He said, if I as a Christian am wrong about there being a God, then all I've done is live my life by a set of rules out of a book that has provided nothing but good and benefit for mankind. And when I die, that's all there is. But if you as a non-Christian are wrong about there not being a God, and you die, are you willing to suffer the consequences? Pretty good wager, is it not? Well, boiled down, it comes down to one simple question. And that question, of course, is, well, what if you are wrong? What if you are wrong? You said from experience, from watching your grandfather, watching your dog die, okay? Both anecdotal at best, because you can't know everything, right?
I'm not in their body.
Okay, you can't know everything.
No.
Haven't been everywhere in the universe.
No.
Could you be wrong?
Of course.
Okay. If you are wrong, and as you said, the other option is heaven or hell, That
Where
kind of
am I
leaves you
going?
in that kind of leaves you in a scary place, doesn't it?
Oh, you always got purgatory to chill in for a while.
Well, purgatory is merely a stopping off place between
Yeah.
one or the other. See what I'm saying?
Well, let's think about this. In hell, I will have some of my favorite people. I have Elliott Smith, my favorite singer-songwriter. Probably Bob Dylan will be there. Johnny Cash.
Actually, Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan both took a different tract on what happens when you die.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they
We'll all have. Well, but I mean, if there's definite heaven or hell,
did. Okay.
then I will see those people.
Okay.
Then I'll also see my buddy Adolf Hitler, you know, with the last name of Goldstein. I'm sure we'll get quite along. If I go to heaven, I'll meet people like the Virgin Mary, Abraham, Moses. So where do you want to be? I mean, look at the commercials about heaven. There's cream cheese.
Well,
I hate cream
do you
cheese.
take your theology from TV?
Don't we all?
No, I hope
I'm
not, my
joking.
friend.
No, but
So
I mean,
here's the question.
that was more of just lightening this whole death thing up.
I
It's
know,
kind of
I know you were.
depressing.
I know you were. You're playing with me.
Yeah, keep going.
Because if hell's a real place, then according to your tradition, the Christian tradition, hell is a place of torment and torture.
Sure.
And it's not a place where you're going to party with your friends, right?
No.
And it's not a place where anybody wants to be.
No.
So you still, you if you're wrong, then that's a possibility, correct? Okay. So will you think about that?
Yeah.
This curriculum gives you the tools that you can begin to use to impact the culture. And I don't care where the conversation goes. I don't care how the conversation develops when you engage people. You need to remember, you do not argue anybody into the kingdom. It is not by your power, your intelligence. It's not by your wit. It is by the grace of God. You are just to be a mouth. You're just to go out and engage people in conversation. Always, always, always take them back to the Creator. Take them back to Jesus. Because if you don't take them back to Jesus, it's merely an intellectual exercise. I don't see reincarnation as a just, equitable, fair, however you want to put it,
Right.
option. I think it's horribly uncaring
Okay.
and insensitive to the value of the individual. And I think that there is another option, and that is we are created, okay, by a caring, infinite, personal creator who recognizes that, yeah, there's a lot of bad stuff that we do, that we don't lean toward the good, we tend toward the evil.
Okay.
And because he's a holy God, there's a breach between our relationship with him.
Right.
And yet he's crossed that breach through the gift of his Son, Christ.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ
And
provides that.
I do appreciate the teachings of Christ, but the one problem I have, this is really the only problem I have, is drawing a line, saying you're good, you're bad, and drawing a line based on religion. There has to be some sort of inclusiveness to this. I mean, it can't just be all Christians or all Jews or all Muslims or whatever.
And that goes back to this, you said you hesitated drawing a line. And the thing is that there's just a very clear line, I think.
Okay.
And that is that we all fall on this side of the line, okay? It doesn't matter whether you're Jew, Muslim, Christian or not. We all fall on the side that we're separated from a holy God because we are not holy.
Yeah. But finding a piece of godliness in yourself and acting on it and being a kind person, like Mother Teresa, who was kind to everyone, didn't make any distinction whatsoever, carried a leper to a hospital that was 4 miles away. If you can find something like that within yourself and act on it, then you have a good start. You might not be across that chasm yet, but I think that's the beginning, is finding that kindness and that sense of giving in yourself and giving it to somebody else.
And I would agree that those are good qualities, those are good traits. But I would say that I'm not going to come close to Mother Teresa. But I'm going to say that even Mother Teresa, as you pointed out, can't cross the chasm. And that's where Christ comes in. Okay, here's what God did. When I hated him, when I was spitting in his face, when I was cursing at him, he gave what is the most valuable to him, his only son, to die in my place. Now, Natasha, I really can't explain that to you. I don't understand how anybody would do that. But I'm saying it is the most wonderful gift that is available. Now, the question is, what are you going to do with Jesus Christ? It's either he is who he claimed to be, the creator of the universe, and therefore the Redeemer, or he is a liar, or he is a lunatic. But let's not play this game that he is merely a good teacher. He didn't leave that option open to us. So I'm going to leave you with that. What is fascinating about being out here on this campus today and interviewing people, I tell them the truth, I retell them the truth, and I tell them the truth again, and they still are confused. It's not because people are stupid, it's not because they're unintelligent, it's not because they are anything other than blind. They cannot see. And that should break your heart. Once you know it, then put the heart to it.